Well, hello there, my little Betty Crockers, and welcome back to 31 Films of Halloween, Day 10. If you like this video, don't judge me, please. If you like this video, you can follow my YouTube channel at Another Scream Queen 76. So we're going to go back in time again, y'all. Take my hand. We're going to go back 50 years to 1975. Whew, that's a long time ago. And talk about the Stepford wives. So fair warning, there might be some spoilers in here because y'all know I don't know what I'm doing. This is like off the cuff. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. But there might be spoilers about this film because I'm going to assume after all this time, folks have either A, seen it, or they're just familiar with the term Stepford. So, let's begin. So, The Stepford Wives was directed by Brian Forbes, and the screenplay was written by William Goldman from the novel of the same name by Ira Levin. And Ira Levin had a really great career. He gave us the classics, Rosemary's Baby. He also wrote Sliver with Sharon Stone and The Boys from Brazil, among others. It has a great cast. We got Catherine Ross as Joanna, and Catherine Ross she was pretty much in a lot of stuff during the 60s and 70s, and most known for The Graduate, and also Butch Cassidy in The Sundance Kid with Robert Redford and Paul Newman. Not too shabby, Kate. And then we also have Paula Prentice, who plays Bobby. And Paula Prentice was more of a comedian, but she did play in some films such as The Parallax View and Osgood Perkinson's horror film, I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. We've got Peter Masterson, who plays Joanna's husband, Walter. And Peter Masterson's real-life daughter, whom many should be familiar with, Mary Stuart Masterson, in her first film role, also appears in this. And Mary, of course, is probably best known for Some Kind of Wonderful back in, I think, 1987. And we've also got Tina Louise, who everybody recognizes as Ginger from Gilligan's Island. So, The Stepford Wives is about this family. Walter decides that city life has just become too much. So he wants to move from the hustle and bustle of the big city, and he uproots his whole family without really consulting with his wife, just like a man. And he moves them to this like quaint cookie cutter town called Stepford in the state of Connecticut. Well, not too long after they arrive and get settled in, Joanna starts noticing some odd behavior, mostly from the women in the neighborhood. It seems like many of them are all dressed a certain way, in very kind of old-fashioned clothing, and they're just preoccupied with all these domestic chores like scrubbing and polishing and baking and starching and ironing and cooking and cleaning and blah, 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 and like living in this whole like 1950s good housekeeping domestic bliss bullshit. And there's also a men's association in this town. I'd like to call it the He-Man Woman Haters Club. And Joanna kind of gets a dose of what this association is like when her husband invites them over for coffee one evening. And, of course, you know, the whole evening is just very awkward. There's lots of chauvinistic and misogynist behavior, and one of the guys starts sketching Joanna's portrait. I mean, like, excuse me, Holmes, I don't think so. Did I give you permission to, you know, put this on canvas, on paper? No, I did not. Ask first. So he does that, and then one of the other dudes there, he kind of has a bit of a speech impediment, and he asks Joanne if she will record herself pronouncing and enunciating certain like words in the dictionary, because it's this little hobby of his. Like, he generates it through some machine, and he tries to figure out like geographic locations for accents and enunciations and things of that nature. And she's like, I don't know, that's kind of kooky. Not sure about that. So she kind of blackmails him into convincing the wives to sort of form their own little women's group to get together and talk. Well, Joanna also makes friends with two other ladies in the neighborhood, Bobby and Charmaine. And you can tell Bobby and Charmaine don't kind of fit this whole like June Cleaver persona, because they kind of dress how they want. They smoke. They're, very brash and sassy, and they're just not, they don't have this like docile personality. So they, of course, all get in together on this little women's club. And, like, the three of them are wanting to talk about their marriages and their husbands and how they're so busy with work and they just kind of feel ignored, and just some deep things. Kind of like, when you get together with your girlfriends and you have a glass of wine and you shoot the shit. Lord have mercy. All these other ladies are, like, wanting to talk about the best kind of starch to put in their husband's collar. Who cares about starch? Let him starch his own collar. He got 2 hands, 2 feet, and a brain, 2 eyes. He can do it. But no, they got to talk about starching and like, I don't know, some kind of recipes. Just stuff has nothing to do with what they're talking about. So these ladies are like, something kooky going on here. And there's even a scene where they're at some kind of a garden party, and one of the ladies there, who happens to actually be the director's real life wife, her name is Nanette Newman, and she plays Carol, and she's walking around, and it's almost like this dress that runs from her neck down to her feet, and she has like a little apron on, and she starts walking around and just acting out of the norm. She has a glass of lemonade in her hand, and she's eating something, and she just starts going around to everybody and going in this very neutral voice, I'll just die if I don't get the recipe. I'll just die if I don't get the recipe. I'll just die when you get the point. And I'm kind of like, my first thing is like, honey, what's wrong? Something's off. What's in that lemonade? My second thing is that I want to know what this recipe is, because it looks like she's just eating a piece of toast. This must be the best damn bread in the world. I mean, I love some bread, but good God, if you're willing to, like, just die if you don't get the recipe, something about that bread must have been on the Food Network. Anywho, so as the movie comes to a climax, Joanna is starting to put 2 and 2 together. I'm not going to reveal the ending, of course. If you've already seen it, you know how it ends. This movie is a slow burn. I really enjoy it. It has that great 70s aesthetic to it. And it just encapsulates horror that can happen in broad daylight, that can happen in just a regular suburban neighborhood. And as I said, it really does reflect on today's society, where in the film, men are in control. They want the perfect wife who can cook and clean and keep house and do the deed whenever they want to, and praise them for their prowess to the highest degree. Give me a break. Anyway, and I feel like in the world we live in, where women are not having any choices anymore on what's, when it comes to their bodies or what their rights are or anything like that. So I feel like that movie is super prevalent. And the Stepford Wives was not a huge hit back in the day. It kind of flopped a little bit, but I think over the years it's become more appreciated for what it actually is and the statement it gives. It spawned several sequels. I think it was Revenge of the Stepford Wives, the Stepford Husbands, the Stepford Children, the Stepford Dog, the Stepford Cat, the Stepford Hamster. Another one, any of those. And it also spawned a remake with Nicole Kidman, which I haven't seen yet. I may have to fix that soon. Anywho, Yeah, check out the Stepford Wives. Even if you've already seen it, it's like really good to just watch it over again and take note of, like I said, some of the parallels of then and now. I will give the Stepford Wives 4 pumpkins. And until next time, if your man comes up to you and tells you, make me a sandwich, I'll be like, bitch, you know where the kitchen is? You got 2 hands? Start slicing some bread.